If you thought the DefEditor V3 Pro was too big and too expensive, and you didn't like Glorious's Model D- wireless, this might just be the perfect alternative for you. The Ninjutso Origin 1X, something that I personally think absolutely destroys the glorious Model D- wireless and is just the way better alternative. Now, the main reason I'm recommending this is because it's so cheap right now. It's an older model, so in Singapore you can get it for about 69 Singapore dollars, which is about 55 USD. And at that price, you get a lot of gaming mouse for your money. It's 65 grams, so only 3 grams heavier than a DefEditor V3 Pro, which is still pretty light. Okay, not as light as like a Final mouse or whatever, but still very light and it has no issues tracking smoothly across any mousepad, especially with these big fat mice feet. But the shape and the size is the most important, and I think that's the best part about the Origin 1X. It has a very nice shape that actually just feels like a smaller and flatter DefEditor V3 Pro. Now, the DefEditor V3 Pro has a very nice shape because it feels like a EC 1.5, like a in between a Zowie EC1 and EC2 shape. And compared to that, the Origin 1X feels like a EC3 wireless. So if you do like the DefEditor V3 Pro shape, but thought it was too big, I really think you would enjoy the Origin 1X since it just feels like a smaller, flatter, sleeker version of the V3 Pro shape. I mean, even from a distance, it kind of looks like little baby brothers. Compared to the V3 Pro, the groove on the left is a little bit deeper than the V3 Pro. Compared to the V3 Pro, the hump on the back is less angled steeply this way and also a bit lower than the V3 Pro. And compared to the V3 Pro, the ergo bump on the right protrudes out less than the V3 Pro. But overall, the shape, philosophy, and style of the ergo shape of the Origin 1X is very reminiscent of the V3 Pro. Or should I say the other way around, since this came out first. But if you do find yourself liking the V3 Pro but thought it was too big, the Origin 1X is looking like a great alternative. Actually, what's funny is if you put the mouse up like that, you actually notice that the surface area of the bottom is absolutely identical. The size difference really just comes from the depth of the grooves and the size of the bumps on the back and the sides of the mouse. But what if you don't have a DefEditor V3 Pro as a point of reference? Well, a way to sum up the Origin 1X is that it's a asymmetrical, ergonomic shape designed for people who are trying to do a relaxed claw grip or a palm grip of their gaming mouse with medium to small hands. It is definitely a more compact mouse for smaller hands. It's absolutely not a shape for fingertip grip, so if you're looking to fingertip grip or aggressively claw your mouse, look elsewhere. But if you're more relaxed with the grip of your mouse, this feels very, very nice. As for other aspects of the Ninjutso Origin 1X, the mice feet are nice and big on the bottom. The thumb buttons are pretty good and clicky, though I personally think they have a bit too much post-travel to be perfect. And the clicks are actually quite good on this mouse. Not amazing, not as good as like the Lamzu Atlantis, but decent. My problem with these clicks is that they do feel a bit spongy when you bottom them out and kind of like press them down like that. They're not very equally tensioned throughout, so they get really stiff when you click from here, which shouldn't be an issue for most people since you should be palm or relaxed claw gripping this mouse. But if you're one of those psychopaths that tilt claws or something like that and clicks on the back of the mouse clicks, then you're gonna face some issues because it's very stiff and high resistance there. There's also a bit of wriggle with the clicks on this mouse, which isn't the most desirable thing ever, like it wriggles left and right a bit. But apart from that, it's good enough for most average users of this gaming mouse. The scroll wheel is pretty nice too. I personally think it's a bit too stiff, but it's got nice refined steps and it feels very snappy, which I do enjoy. The coating and the finish of the plastic of the Origin 1X is nice as well. It is quite alright. I would say it's more grippy than the smoothness of the DefEditor V3 Pro, which is absolutely slippery, but the V3 Pro does come with grip tape, so it makes up for that. I personally will also say that if you do get the Origin 1X, do get some grip tape if possible, because it should help with holding on this mouse tightly in an intense gaming session. Inside it has a 500 milliamp hour battery, which does, keep this going for quite some time, and it also has Usbc charging, unlike the Final Mouse Starlight, which costs like 3 times or 4 times its price. The sensor though is where it gets a bit lower end and a bit old gen. It's a Pixart PMW3335, which is a sensor that is a bit kind of controversial in that depending on which mouse you get the sensor with, there might be some implementation issues. I personally had no issues with the implementation of the 3335 here. Tracks well, tracks accurately, no real latency, and the DPI deviation isn't too bad that I couldn't like slightly tweak it in my Valorant aim sensitivity settings. And I personally found the sensor on here to be not a problem at all. But if you're like a really professional gamer and you absolutely do not want to relearn muscle memory or anything, and you don't want any DPI deviation, you want a perfect sensor, then you probably have to look at something with a more modern sensor like a 3370, a 3395, or one of those Razer, Logitech, or Final Mouse sensors that are like the latest gen stuff. All in all then, the Ninjutso Origin 1X, should you buy this gaming mouse? Well, if you're looking for a budget-friendly, compact, ergonomic, wireless gaming mouse, something that gives you great value for money and great performance for the price, look no further than here. This is basically a better version of the glorious Model D- wireless, and there's no reason to get that mouse course, over this one because this has just a better shape, better performance, and in my opinion, better value. Also, if you're someone who's looking for a mouse that has a shape like the DeathAdder V3 Pro but smaller, definitely do consider this. It might not have the highest end specs and the lightest weight like the DeathAdder V3 Pro might do, but if you want something that has the same design philosophy as the DeathAdder V3 Pro but smaller and more compact, this shape is really excellent and a great smaller alternative. In fact, I like this shape so much that if Ninjutso made a lighter version of this with a modern updated sensor, I would probably use this as my daily driver, which is why I'm looking forward to checking out the Ninjutso Sora. Perhaps it could be my new daily, though I have no idea because shipping is taking forever. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you literally tomorrow, and yeah,